Hi, it's your coach Joe Lucas. Welcome to December 12th, Tuesday. Hope you're doing well. And man, we are just about out of year for 2017. I want to flip now and talk for the next several videos, probably through the holidays, about everybody's favorite subject this time of year, right? Business planning. And you know what's very interesting to me is that I've been in this industry, like I said, for literally a quarter century. And what's been very fascinating is the fact that when I talk to a potential new client or somebody comes in my orbit, if you will, one of the first questions I ask them is, well, send me a copy of your business plan, right? Hey, send me what you're working off of. And I would say eight to 9 out of 10, either A, have not done a plan in several years, or B, they can't find it, right? Which is even, I think, scarier because you put the time into it and then it can't be found. Or C, they've got something and it's like a one-pager or God help us a spreadsheet and there's nothing going on. So let's talk about kind of the intellectual reason why we want to do this, and then let's talk about why advisors don't. Because there's really kind of two sides to this, I think, very important story. So here's my business case why planning is important, at least the planning that I do. Number one is, if you really think about it, if I ask you this question, hey, what do you have to do in order to be successful every day or even today? How are you going to answer that question, right? And you'll come up with, most advisors would come up with, well, I need to talk to people. I need to talk to more people, right? I need to get more clients, right? I need to do more sales. And so there's these concepts, if you will, but it's not really a game plan, right? So people ask me, Joe, how do you put together a daily game plan? I said, well, what are your goals? Oh. And with lack of a plan, here's what happens. We as human beings default into survival mode most of the time. In fact, most of advisors that I've run across, their concept is, how do I have a great month? I'm just trying to have a good February or a good January or a good, December. And because they're so myopic, they think in like 30-day chunks. And let's face it, in this industry, unless you're brand new, you've been conditioned to think about what? Production months, right? 30-day snapshots. Everything revolves around those 30 days, or maybe if you're a little bit more, have a little bit of a different business model. Maybe you're more of an RIA. You do a lot of fee-based. Maybe you're on 90-day windows, right? Quarterly. Where do you want to be 5 years from now? Like, why are you here? What business do you want to build? What lifestyle do you want to create? It's very fascinating. We will sit here as an industry and be very, we'll get on our high horse, right? And we'll tell our clients, well, you need a financial plan, or we need an investment plan, or we need to do a risk tolerance profile, right? Or some behavioral analysis. I need all this stuff from you. But where's your plan, advisor? What's your game plan, right? And you've got to realize that I don't care if you work for one of the large wirehouses, or you're working out of your house as a small little independent RIA, that's fine. You're a business owner at some levels. Now, obviously, the RIA is a little bit higher level of business owner, but bottom line is nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to wake up other than you on January 1st and wonder what you're going to do for the year, right? And so I think intellectually people get this. Now, the failing, if you will, in our industry is that we've done a very crappy job at providing you good stuff, right? And I've seen what some firms put out, and I've seen what kind of floats around out there, and bottom line, it's all garbage. And I'm trying to be respectful about that. It really is. It's either numbers driven, and it's all about spreadsheets, analysis, and formulas, right? And I know you need to do a chunk of that, but if that's all you do and you have nothing over the top, you got nothing, right? And so the other piece I would say is that because it's just numbers driven, you don't have emotional connect. It's not a roadmap, which is ultimately what you want. It's not one of those documents. Advisors will spend, thousands of dollars to figure out what their elevator pitch is, to kind of make their website look pretty. But for what context? What's the bigger purpose here, right? And so I find that things are too number driven. And I think the bottom line also is that I think advisors who have done a lot of planning, you get disappointed because you put some goals down, they don't happen, and it's like it becomes this very, very painful process. And this is why, by the way, even if you do a plan, most advisors, those who do a plan and don't have some accountability, don't have something behind it, what ends up happening is you'll spend Maybe a couple hours, maybe in a couple days, you'll put together a plan, whatever tool you use. And, oh, that's cool. And we're done, right? And you'll look at it again in December, right? And wonder how the year went. And like that to me is, I think you're better off doing no plan than to doing something like that. Because all you're going to do is take a couple days out of your life, put something together, get excited, file away, never see it again. Look, these are not tax returns. This is not the process of like you doing your annual tax return and I got to get this done so I can go file it and never see it again. My process, the one that I like around planning, is it's a living document. It's something you refer to all the time, right? So let's talk about some other disconnects. I think, again, we get into the too analytical, but then I think also it doesn't get broken down. So here's part of the problem too. So if I ask most advisors, hey, tell me about where you want to be 5 years from now. First off, a lot of them like their brain go like, I can't even think about where I'm going to be next month, never mind in 60, right? But let's just say somebody has an answer for that. And it's kind of makes sense. Okay, great. Where do you need to be in 12 months, 24 months, 36 months? What do we need to do in the next 90 days to get you on track for that? See, if you can't answer those questions, what you have is a concept without a plan to get there. And that's the other thing that really short circuits a lot of planning. Is it's not, so I'll give you my role, right? So 5-year plan, right? We do the strategic plan, right? Then we come up with a set of 1-year deliverables, right? Now we have a marketing and business development plan. So again, how are we going to drive revenue, right? We do that, right? Then we're going to put together what we call a personal plan. So your lifestyle plan, right? What kind of business do you want? What do you want ideally? Let's create. Here's the thing that people miss. Being an advisor is one of the, if not the best lifestyle platforms that I am aware of. Unless you're going to be an internet millionaire, maybe now that you go buy some Bitcoin, right? But from a professional standpoint, you can have your cake and eat it too in this business. You can have economic abundance and time freedom. However, you've got to plan for it. It doesn't happen automatically. In fact, one of the biggest challenges I find with lack of a plan, you end up building a job for yourself and not a sustainable business/platform for you and your family to enjoy. It's just a very well-paid job with some stress. That's the default, right? And for some of you, the well-paid is not even there. And that's even scarier, right? So that's what you need to really think about. Okay, what are you going to do different in 2018? And what are you going to do different in the process? Because here's the thing. You can make all the declarations you want. Oh, I'm going to do this year. This is going to be my year. And it's all BS unless you're going to change your process. You could do something different. If you're not willing to do something different, then what the heck do you think? Why is it going to be different? Right? Because you just want it to be? Not going to happen. Right? So then we have all this, right? So we have these different components, right? And there's a couple of we don't get into today. And then here's what we do. So here's the bridge, right? So I've got this great 5-year window, right? The strategic plan. I've got my set of 1-year deliverables. Now, what's my quarterly game plan, right? So now let's break it down, right? So I got 1 year. Hey, 2018. What's our goals for the first quarter of 2018? And we come up with like a 2 or 3 pager, right? A quarterly game plan for you and your business. Then what? Now we break it down to monthly game plans, KPIs, morning ritual, daily game plan. Every day you wake up and you know exactly what you need to do and it feeds into the bigger picture. Now that's what I do. That's what I do for my clients. The question you've got to ask yourself is, what are you going to do to elevate yourself in 2018? And more importantly, are you really ready to do something that's really impactful? See, I think the other reason why advisors don't do a good job planning is that, again, it doesn't get broken down, right? So there's nothing around that, but there's no emotional connection to it. It's really about a bunch of numbers. Let's think of what most advisors do. Well, how many new households do I need? How much more money do I need to bring in? What am I charging for that money, right? And then we flip the switch on the other side. If I'm on the insurance side of the game, hey, how much premium do I need to do? How many cases do I need to do? How many paid financial plans do I need to do? And look, I can probably take any one of you and probably within 30 minutes come up with a 1-pager. Hey, here's the math, right? It's meaningless. Absolutely meaningless. Why? Why do you want to wake up every day early, right? And do a morning ritual and have a written daily game plan and make the calls that you need to make and ask for the referrals you need to. Why? Because at the end, that's what matters, right? All the other stuff is just filler, period. And I think as an industry, we have not done a good job with that. Corporately, I think there's competing, if you will, priorities, right? And then, quite frankly, and I respect all my colleagues in this space. I've seen pretty much everybody's stuff. It gets across my desk one way or the other, and some of it's okay. Nothing like I have, and I'm not trying to tout myself here. I'm just giving you some context, right, on what you need to do. But here's the point. If you're going to sit there and tell your clients that you need a financial plan and we need to do all this risk tolerance stuff and behavioral analysis and all that, and yet you're going to operate a business without a plan, I think that's a bit incongruent. Don't even get me started on whether or not you have your own financial plan and whether or not you eat your own cooking. That's a whole different animal altogether, right? So here's what I want you to think about. I want you to ponder this for a couple days. And like I said, I'm going to be around. We'll be shooting some videos this week, some next week, obviously, too. And I want you to think about what do you want to do different before 2018 shows up, right? Because if you're thinking about, January's here and I got to figure it out, game on, too late, you lost, right? And maybe that's what you've done your entire 10, 20, 30-year career. I don't know. But here's what I do know. Do the same thing you've always done, expecting a different result. It will not happen, period, right? So give that some thought. I'll see you again in the next video. And I'm going to share with you again some more business planning strategies, some best practices. So for the next couple of videos, kind of hang with me, right? I'm going to share a lot of value with you. Again, I don't pitch, not my thing. I'm here to help, right? So have a great day. See you soon.